Hi everyone, this is a quick summary and a rundown of the rule changes for 2018. If you look on the FIBA website, you'll be able to see the latest rules available for download. It's version 10, it's not the final version, so there's a possibility there might be some small changes to wording or something before it goes actually final. But these are the changes that we've been handed, so we're not anticipating there to be any changes really from what we've got here, really. Some of these are more detailed than others, so starting from the top, minor thing, instead of calling periods, they're going to be quarters, and extra periods are now going to be called overtime in the rules. So obviously it makes no difference in our day-to-day use of them. First actual change is Article 4, which is a change to the legality of accessories of uniforms, for example, compression sleeves, wristbands, headbands, etc. Last year's rule was it could only be the predominant team colour that could be used. That was the rules of basketball. For Basketball England games, they also said you can also have either black or white. Principle, though, being that everybody must wear the same colour for every piece of, for every accessory they're wearing. Same this year, except you can have any colour that you like, but the whole team must wear the same colour. So if they all want to wear white, that's fine. If they all want to wear black, if they all want to wear blue, doesn't matter, as long as they all wear the same. They can't mix and match. You can't have half the team wearing one, half the team wearing the other. If you've got two players come out and they've got different colours, well, they've got to talk to each other and decide who's going to change, basically. Article 17, the throw-in. This is a new signal and a bit of a new mechanic. This is basically to give a defender who's closely guarding an inbound warning to not cross the boundary line. The rule being, of course, you can't put anything over the boundary line, either in the air or on the ground. It's as if it's a pane of glass. So to prevent teams being sneaky and finding out what the play is in the last 2 minutes, for example after a timeout, by committing a deliberate violation of this, there's a new mechanic which is before you hand the ball over, and this is anywhere on the court in the last 2 minutes of the game. There is a signal which you can see here, which is basically to just demonstrate where the line is. I'm sure you can imagine that. It should be pretty straightforward. So the mechanic is step in, show the defender where the line is. Might be wise in the early stages to warn them that if there's a violation of that, it's going to be a technical foul. Then step away as normal, put the ball in. So any violation by the defender there, as in fouling the line, the boundary line, last year was simply a violation and a reset the shot clock if necessary. This year, technical foul. Okay, moving on. Article 24, dribbling. Up until now, if somebody passed you the ball and you threw the ball against the backboard and then deliberately, and then you caught it, that was your dribble gone. If you then tried to dribble again, it was a double dribble. Likewise, if you'd already used your dribble, you picked up your dribble, threw it deliberately against the backboard, and then caught it again, that was a double dribble. That's now legal. So the specific action of deliberately throwing the ball against the backboard as being counting as a dribble no longer exists. Okay, Article 29. Right, this is a change that affects table officials as well if you're operating the 24-second device. When we change to having a 14-second reset, one of the principles of that is you can never lose time off the shot clock. The only exception being is if you shot too early, you might get a 14 reset off an offensive rebound. That's changed now. When you get possession after a foul or a violation by the other team, you now get 14 if it's in the front court. So if you're getting the ball in the back court, 24. If you're getting the ball in the front court, 14. Now, hopefully that's straightforward. Hope I haven't undercomplicated that or overcomplicated that. If there's any questions, let me know. So, actually, one example, we can see it here anyway, and you can read through it. If the shot clock says more than 24 and you're in the front court, goes down to 14. If it says less than, if it says less than 14, you get what's left, unless there's a violation that causes it to go up. But previously, if you had a if you got the ball in your backcourt and then there was a timeout, the ball would advance to the front court, as it still does, but you'd still get 24 seconds. This is no longer the case. You just get 14, even though it was a change of possession. So previously, every change of possession, new 24. This is now not the case. It's 24 if you're getting the ball in the backcourt, but if you're getting it in the front court, it's only 14. Okay, second part of Article 29's change is that you already know that if somebody takes a timeout in the last 2 minutes and they have the ball in the backcourt, they get to advance it, and it automatically advances to the front court and is inbounded at the inbound line level with the top of the 3-point line. Now, obviously, now this year that would be probably a 14 reset, not a 24. But now the coach taking the timeout gets to choose whether they bring the ball into the front court or not. And the time that they're supposed to make that decision is at the end of the timeout. Now, I know what you're thinking if you're a coach. Well, I don't know what play to draw up because I don't know where the ball's going to be. Correct, you don't know where the ball's going to be. Clarified this, and that is the case. So, again, if it's a new possession and they want to move it to the front court, that's fine, but you only get 14. Sorry, even if it's not a new possession, it's just 14. If you want to take it in the back court, that's fine, no problem. It's 24. So this brings into play a mechanic that we're not used to. One of the things we might be used to doing is, if it's in the last 2 minutes, the new offense calls a timeout and the ball's being advanced to the front court. One thing we do to help everybody out sometimes is go and put the ball down in the front court where it's coming in. Got to get out of the habit of doing that now, because theoretically we're not going to know. So the mechanic is, the table will make the signal for the timeout, the floor official signals the timeout, and the timeout begins. Wait in the middle of the court with the ball. We get to 50 seconds, the signal will go to the coach who's called the timeout and say, where do you want the ball to be, front or back? And they have to tell you. Did ask this at conference, what happens if they don't? Well, they've got to tell you. It shouldn't be too difficult. They're probably, if they don't know the rule, they're expecting the ball to go in the front anyway, and they'll just say front, or say I didn't know I had the choice, because they'll have written something up probably for the front court if they didn't know. Once you know, tell the table. Get into that habit, because the 24-second operator would need to know. Then move to the spot. So I would say, even if the coach has told you earlier, don't go early. Wait in the middle of the court. Do it like it's supposed to be. That one might be contentious, but yeah, as I say, as you know, any questions, let me know. Okay, Article 35, double foul. It's just kind of a cleaning up of the wording. Nothing really to worry about in there. It's all same. Article 36, technical foul. This is a change. Last year, technical foul was almost always one shot in possession. If it was a member of the, if you were disqualifying someone as a result of the technical foul, for example, somebody from the bench has invaded the court and they were disqualified from the start of last year, that became 2 shots in possession because they were being disqualified to make it like an equal penalty with the disqualifying foul, which felt right. So that's all there still, except the technical foul penalty for just a technical foul, a normal technical foul that would have been 1 in possession, is now 1 shot and carry on. So it's a bit like a double foul, where you administer the foul, you just carry on doing what you were doing. So what this means is, it's a bit like the NBA rule, if you're familiar with it. So what this means is, if the ball's in the back court somewhere, and then in a front court there's a technical foul happens, well, the ball's coming in the back court from the point at which it was. What this means is, now unusually for a technical foul, while play's going on, you've got to make a note in your head of where the ball was, because that's where it's going to be coming in. Hopefully you've done it, you've gone through it quick enough that, well, the ball's probably about where it should be anyway, because the guy who's dribbling it's just picked it up and he's standing there with it under his arm, I would say, in most cases. But that's the key thing, is when you do it, somebody's got to see where the ball should be. Okay, Article 39. This is a change. This is for when there's a court invasion by people leaving the team bench area, which could be substitutes, team followers, doctor, physio, whoever. Previously, the penalty was one foul for all of them. So you'd have, well, it's a technical foul, but it would be 2 shots because you're disqualifying people as a result of it. So if 4 players came off the bench, it would be 1 technical foul, 2 shots and possession. Now there's a definition that splits out people who simply come onto the court and people who come onto the court and actually get involved in the fighting to the extent that they would need to be disqualified had there been players on the court. So if we think of a scenario of 4 players coming off the bench area in a potential fight situation, 2 of them don't get involved in the actual fight, but 2 of them are involved, and you would have had to have disqualified them had they been players. So instead of having 1 foul that covers all of them, you've now got the single foul for court invasion covering the 2 players that weren't involved. But the 2 players who did get involved get individual disqualifying fouls each. So previously it would have been 1 foul for all 4 players. Now it would be a foul for the 2 that didn't do anything and a foul each for the 2 that did. So you've got a technical foul plus a disqualifying foul plus a disqualifying foul, which is 6 shots. So that's any team bench personnel after leaving the team bench area actively involved in the fight should be disqualified according to the disqualifying foul article. Okay, next one, Article 46. That's to do with the instant replay. I'm sure we don't have to worry about that. If you want to read that, fine. If there's any questions, do ask them. Article 50, shot clock operator duties. Well, this kind of also defines the validity of a shot that lodges between the ring and the backboard. Previously, when that's happened, it's a jump ball situation, and it still is. But previously, we used to not count that as a shot. So if there's 5 seconds left on the shot clock and the ball lodges between the ring and the backboard, if we were giving it back to the team that shot it with the arrow, because it's a jump ball situation, remember, they'd only have 5 to shoot. Now you would get 14. If it's a turnover as a result of the jump ball, well, it'd be 24 in any case. That actually affects some. If the shot clock expires with the ball in the air and then it lodges in the ring, used to be a violation because it wasn't a valid shot. Now it is a valid shot, and we use the arrow, and it'll either be 14 or 24 depending on who gets it. Okay, if there's an unsportsmanlike or disqualifying foul, technical foul's not included because there's no inbounds after a technical foul anymore because it's 1 shot and carry on. After an unsportsmanlike or disqualifying foul, after the shots, the ball would be inbounded previously from half court. Not the case anymore. It comes in from the throw-in line in the front court at the top of the 3-point line. Therefore, it would also, of course, have to be a 14-second shot clock. Whereas when we went from halfway, because it wasn't in the front court, it was 24, not 14. Okay, so pretty much, I think I'm right in saying the only time we ever go to the throw-in, have a throw-in at halfway now is at the start of quarters where appropriate. Okay, that's just a clarification in the score sheet about the fact that if it's a technical foul that results in somebody being thrown out, it's 2 shots, not 1. And D, classification of teams, read that in your own time, not really relevant here. And also basketball equipment, read that in your own time, not really relevant here. That's just about at very high level games changing what the shot clock and game clock looks like on the backboard and whatnot. That's everything. Like I say, if you've got any questions, let me know. Hopefully these are final. I suspect they're going to be. Have a good season.